not allow whatever we are gaining or getting from this deposit or these blessings from God to give us what we are looking for.
The coming of Brazil now this time is important. Then first they have to organize a workshop for these herders, those who rear cows. This is why it's good for you to have your cows in a particular place, and these are things you do to feed them well, and they will equally have good meat for consumption.
The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and in the other way around, the beginning of a thing also can predict what the afternoon or the evening of that same thing would look like. With the trend that has not been curbed and nothing has been discussed about it, for instance, you see a project like fuel subsidy removal, and you don't have a substitution or alternative like stomach infrastructure or welfare package for the same people that you are coming up to lead. And even though I didn't hear her directly, but it was in news that the president's wife made a speech that Nigeria should not be afraid that they are not Nigeria because they are already having money. They are billionaires or trillionaires. So people were depending on that speech. Okay, if you come up, at least if you are a rich man and you come to manage a team, you make your influence affect the people so that they will now have hope. So right now, apart from God, sir, the trend that we are seeing in our economic ecosystem does not.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones, and we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
Yes. It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's no longer going to be business as usual. Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, what we get in the country, 79% is from crude, foreign exchange, 11% is from oil, from gas, natural gas. Between the two of them is 90%.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Are young people we propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira card is not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at
KAFTAN TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in abject 5%. Are young people repurpose the harmony symphony?
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
What we found is that this 10 naira tax is not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics.
If we are getting whatever it is we are getting from oil revenue today, you look at the oil revenue is more than enough to take Nigeria to her next level. But at the end of the day, the processes, the leakages, and so many things that have become like an epidemic on our economy will not allow whatever we are gaining or getting from this deposit or these blessings from God to give us what we are looking for.
The coming of Brazil now this time is important. Then first they have to organize a workshop for these herders, those who rear cows. This is why good for you to have your cows in a particular place, and these are things you do to feed them well, and they will equally have good meat for consumption.
The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and in the other way around, the beginning of a thing also can predict what the afternoon or the evening same thing would look like. With the trend that has not been curbed and nothing has been discussed about it. For instance, when you see a project like fuel subsidy removal and you don't have a substitution or alternative like stomach infrastructure or welfare package for the same people that you are coming up to lead. And even though I didn't hear her directly, but it was in news that the president's wife made a speech that Nigeria should not be afraid that they are not coming to loot Nigeria because they are already having money. They are billionaires or trillionaires. So people were depending on that speech. Okay, if you come up, at least if you are a rich man and you come to manage a team, you make your influence affect the people so that they will now have hope. So right now, apart from God, sir, the trend that we are seeing in our economic
Hello, good to have you again on the program. It is the economy today, and we discuss the economy. This time we'll discuss it in a different way because we'll be talking about the economy as it affects a special group. What I mean by a special group is that there is the group that is known as the vulnerable. And so if the vulnerable is empowered and energized, and there is enough funding in the hands of the vulnerable, the nation definitely will be made better, and the economy would grow, would thrive, would improve. So these are the things we want to talk about today, and I have a guest. And this guest happens to be someone that is whom I have called the vulnerable. And she is right here with me, and well, Okechukwu, by the way, is my name. And she's right here with me, and we want to talk about this matter of empowering women, and of course the others who are along with them, because definitely when you talk about people who are the vulnerable in Nigeria, is most of the time we say the women and girls, or women and children. So, okay, someone who knows about this is here with me, and she will share with us. I said she, because of course it's a women matter today. She is very special in every way. She is an author, she is a leader, she's a team leader, she is very, very enterprising in every aspect of the word. And above all else, she is strong on helping women and children, especially, as I said, the less privileged. She happens to be a coordinator of, Delta State coordinator of the New Thing International Foundation, and New Thing International Foundation. She also happens to be the past charter vice president of Rotary District 9141. 9141, and the president of the Thrive for Her Foundation. Thrive for Her Foundation. Well, certified Scrum Master, Agile Coach, and CEO of BL Frida Logistics. We'll talk about all these things. And through advocacy, from what we've gathered, ministry and strategic leadership, Frida Irabo is the name. She continues to break barriers and empower women and girls to lead, influence, and thrive. Do help me as we welcome Frida Irabo on the program today.
Good morning, sir.
Good to have you.
Good to have you too.
It's a big pleasure to see someone like this thinking about this idea. So how did it all start with you in the first place?
Thank you very much.
Right.
I'm happy to be here. My name is Frida Irabo.
Good to have you.
To answer your question, how it all started, I think I'm one person that puts humanity before anything. Humanity comes first for me before any other thing. And I started at a very young age because I saw that there was an imbalance, and economic-wise, socially, political, in all sphere, in all ramification, there was an imbalance. And of course, I focused on women and girls because we are the marginalized. In any area you want to see it from, we are the marginalized. So I focused on women and girls, and I try to be a voice for them. I try to empower them the way I can, and that was how my foundation came up. A foundation that focuses on empowering women and girls to thrive and to become in a society that has relegated them to the periphery.
Thank you so much, Frida. And I want to say that you started quite early, as you said. Does it mean that you have had a personal experience that led you into going this way? What did you see even that early? What did you see?
I grew up in Edo State, and growing up in Edo State, you know, first in our society, in our country, Nigeria, it is either the rich or the poor.
Yes.
It's either the privileged or the less privileged. And I grew up in a society where it was so obvious, and I wouldn't say I'm that privileged, but I was comfortable. My family, as at then, we were comfortable. And coming out, as a child, I always wanted to see more, know more, hear more. And then when I go out there, because I play football, and when I go to the field to play football, I see children around begging, and I see some hawking in the street, maybe when I'm just out there trying to stroll, and I'm like, why is this child hawking? She's supposed to be in school. He's supposed to be in school. Why is this one? Why is that? I was asking too many questions at a very young age. And also, at a very young age, I discovered that I was limited, and there are certain roles I wasn't allowed to function in, and all because I was a woman, I was a girl. And I felt if as comfortable as I am, society can still treat me this way and sideline me because of my gender. How be those that are less privileged? They would just be silenced and covered. And it actually motivated me to start asking questions. I go to the camp of the less privileged. I make friends with them, and I ask them, what are the challenges you guys are facing? Like, what is that? And then you hear these women tell you they are going through domestic violence and nobody to fight for them. There's abject poverty and nobody's listening to them. There's no job. They can send their female children to school because their husbands prioritize the boys going to school than the girls going to school. So I started hearing all these things, and I think that was enough motivation for me to start. Yeah.
Well, honestly, it would be enough motivation to start for someone who has the mind, who is thinking about it. Starting, was it that easy for you?
Kamala Harris said something recently. She said breaking limits. In breaking limits, in breaking anything, whether causes or limits or challenges, they say you get caught and you bleed. So when you want to fight for a cause that is so setbacked, there are too many challenges that comes with it. I think the most important, or rather the general challenge I faced was finance, because whichever thing I wanted to achieve, I knew I needed money. And then you can't just barge in on people and say, oh, I want to do this thing, come and support me with funds. Not everybody buy your sentiments, not everybody shares same passion with you and all that. So I think my biggest challenge was finance, and I needed to put myself in a place where these women can look at me and say, okay, she's serious, this one is serious, and she's not just coming to make a caricature of us. Yeah.
Okay. And you started, and of course you have gone on. I want to ask, challenges, you met them, isn't it?
I met a lot.
Can we share?
A lot of challenges. I think, although I wouldn't say, I think it was also, it serves as also like it made me grow as a person, because it made me become this Frida that I am today, this strong and unapologetically bold Frida that I am today. I think my biggest challenge is I am in a country, or rather a society, where a woman is told to shut up. Yes, you are told to keep quiet. So I think talking was like I was being rebellious, because I would see and I would talk. So even in church, I wasn't allowed to say certain things. When I see something wrong and I point it out, they're like, no, Frida, you are not allowed to say it. And then in society, I wasn't allowed to talk. In schools, so I felt my voice was being, covered and all that. So I think my biggest challenges was that the society told me to shut up, and I was fighting to speak. Yeah.
We are discussing women empowerment. What empowered you as a woman, to go on, irrespective of the fact, or in spite of the fact that you were asked to shut up?
Purpose. Purpose is a driving force. It will push you. You can't sleep at night. People don't understand where you are coming from. They look at you and say, have you gone mad? This thing you are doing, can't you see that is affecting? You can't, it's not something you choose, it's something that chooses you.
Yes.
So you don't have a say in the battle. And for me, I think my biggest motivation is that every day I wake up, I see women being marginalized. I'm still in a country where I can count how many women is in government. I've never since I was born see a female vice president in Nigeria, not to talk of a president. It is rare to see female governors. I don't know if there's any. There was a governor in Anambra State one time. She lasted 3 months in power during the Peter Obi issues.
Yes.
Where, yes,
she used deputy governor.
Yes.
Later she came on.
Yes. And then when you oh yes, that's her name. And then when you look at Senate, you look at over 300 people, and then you are counting 6, 7 women inside. I look at local governments, you know, just look around leadership, and then you can't see any representative. And then the one person I just hold on to is Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, and I'm like, can I get at least, can I get 20? Can I get 40? Can I get 50? These are things that it just motivates you to say, let me become. Because if I become a role model, if 10 of us become, we have 10 girls to look up to us. If 50 of us become, we have 50 girls to look. This is enough motivation for me. Yeah.
Oh, well, you have just mentioned the name, like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She happens to be someone that, at least if you look at that, you get encouraged more.
Of course.
Do you have what you could refer to as role models, or people that when you look up to, you say, I must get there?
Oh, of course. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, I love her so much. I love the fact that she comes from a place of the fear of God, most importantly, and then she's also a writer. She's an author. She has authored so many books, so many great books, in quotes. And I love the fact that she's a feminist, a bold one, and internationally recognized. And I love the fact that she's unapologetically bold. She's someone I can look up to and shape. She's actually, I don't think she knows, I pray this, I hope this gets to her. She's actually like a path for me to work on. I look at the things she does, and then I try to copy, because in growth you must look for who to call a role model and copy them. And I think she's the one, not I think, but rather she's actually the one I am copying. Yeah.
That's good. It's not wrong to look at someone that is great and work towards greatness, because it's a path that people need to follow. Good. And so she stands as a shining light to you. But then I would say that Chimamanda would also wish that you even get to be bigger than herself.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because I said that's what we're praying for you on this program too, as you're part of this today.
Thank you very much.
As you're doing women empowerment. You've gone to the church, you've empowered women to help them to, economically get to be viable. You've gone to schools, you've spoken to children, you've provided things to enable the children to be better than they were. And even some that were out of school, you've enabled them to get to be back into school. And these are great things. But I want to ask, Frida, have you ever had government assistance in doing all these great things you're doing?
Oh, okay. That's very good questions. I will definitely love to partner with the government. Of course, I need them. I get to a point where I get stuck, and I need them to partner with me, and so I can go smoothly. Yeah, but I have not yet seek government assistance, and when I get to that bridge, I'll cross it. When I get to that point where I need to do my own part, because I think the burden most times we put on the government, it becomes loads for them. Yeah, I need to do my own part first, and then present it to them and say, I have done to this extent. Now I need you to come in and help me so that I can go smoothly on this journey. Yeah. Okay.
Very soon you'll be doing something, and then we'll talk about it anyway. That is talking about reusable pads outreach 2025. We'll talk about that. But even before we talk about that, I want to also say, I know that you're working and waiting maybe to conclude certain things so as to ask government for partnership and collaboration. But wouldn't it have been good for you to reach out first to the women, what do you call it now, women ministry in the government? Because after all, Women Affairs Ministry, that's it. Right now we have a Minister for Women Affairs. And in most states there are commissioners for Women Affairs there. And some even Women Affairs and Gender, whatever it is called. As you move from state to state in doing the work you do, and as you are in the FCT at a time like this, I think it will be better if you reach out to those ministries to help. And here in the FCT, there is also the Women Affairs Department, where there is someone that is the Mandate Secretary for Women Affairs and Children in the FCT. I'm talking about Dr. Dayo Benjamin's Lani. There will be need for you to meet with her and talk so that these things, so that when there is something that the government is doing, they can ask you to be part of it.
Yeah.
Not only you asking them, because they have need for you too.
Of course.
And they may never get to know that someone like you is doing something like this until you show them. Just as you said, you want to finish certain things before you reach out to them. But I'm asking that there's need to reach out to them as soon as yesterday.
Of course.
Because a lot is going on.
Yeah.
And it's a huge project.
Yes, huge project.
It will not be okay for you to just go on working alone. I know you're young, you're a young lady, but then let's not destroy your youth. Let there be support to enable you grow and get others also to be part of what you're doing. I want to thank you for being here, but before we go on, we'll take a break. We'll return and continue with Frida Irabo.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones, and we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much. We're still here. Let's see, discussing women empowerment. And I still have my beautiful guest with me on the program today, talking about Frida Irabo. Good to have you again, Frida.
Thank you very much.
Right, and what we were saying is that there are things you still have that we'll talk about. I will want to crave your indulgence. We have a segment of this program that is from the business news. I will want that to come on. Immediately it's done, then we'll talk about that project from your foundation. Right, let's take news from the business news.
The House of Representatives has received and approved a petition from a sociocultural group, Ezumwada Igbo, calling for the removal of Sophia Mbakwe, the Executive Vice President, Business Services of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, over claims that she is occupying a slot meant for the Southeast region, which allegedly not been from the zone. The petition, which was laid before the House during plenary by Honorable Ikenga Imo, Chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, urged the lawmakers to investigate the alleged breach of the federal character principle in Mbakwe's appointment, addressed to the Speaker of the House, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. The petition expressed concern that the appointment of Mbakwe as the Southeast representative on the NNPCL management team contravened constitutional provisions meant to ensure equitable representation across Nigeria's geopolitical zones.
The Cape Town Convention, taking place in Abuja, is part of a two-day event organized by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, the Aviation Working Group, and the African Civil Aviation Commission. The event aims to promote aviation law reform, improve compliance with international aviation financing standards, and enhance confidence in Nigeria's aviation sector. Speaking at the occasion, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, was presented by the Director of Human Resources and Administration, NCAA, Dr. Anastasia Gbem, highlighted the significance of the convention in enhancing aviation financing, safeguarding creditor rights, and fostering a more predictable and sustainable legal environment for Nigeria's aviation sector. He emphasized that the Cape Town Convention would eliminate judicial impediments, improve investor confidence, and reduce aircraft acquisition costs for local airlines.
It is a strategic convergence of minds and institutions committed to deepening Africans' participation in and benefit from the global aviation financial framework established under the Cape Town Convention and its aircraft protocol. Since its entry into force over 2 decades ago, the Cape Town Convention has transformed the landscape of aircraft financing and leasing by creating a predictable, transparent, and enforceable legal regime that reduces credit risk and enhances access to capital.
Earlier in his opening remarks, the Director General of Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Chris Najomo, who was represented by the Director of Operations, Licensing and Training, Captain Donald Toye Spieth, stated that the Cape Town Convention offers immense opportunities for Nigeria's aviation industry, aligning with President Ahmed Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which prioritizes economic development, innovation, and global competitiveness.
The practice directions is a tool of application and guidance in the adjudication of aircraft financing related matters by the Federal High Courts, in line with the provisions of the Cape Town Convention. A development that significantly increased Nigeria's compliance rating from 49.0% to 75.5%.
The Secretary General of the Aviation Working Group, Mr. Jeffrey Wood, and other speakers at the occasion said the convention is coming at the right time as it has numerous impacts on Nigeria's aviation sector.
The Cape Town Convention is much, much more than a business law treaty. In fact, the most important business law treaty in history in commercial law. It's much more than that. It embodied a transformation of the aviation industry in space and time. And Nigeria and many of the other countries that are here have played a key role in that process, and this event is yet another example.
The gathering is timely and strategic as Africa nations seek to strengthen institutional, legal, and financial frameworks driving sustainable growth in the aviation sector. The Cape Town Convention and its aircraft protocol have transformed global aviation finance, enhancing legal certainty, reducing investment risk, and improving access to capital.
The convention is expected to attract significant foreign investment, support the growth of Nigeria's aviation industry, and align the country's aviation systems with international best practices.
Now, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has fixed Monday, January 5, 2026, as the deadline for all operators to fully comply with the Digital, Electronic, Online and Non-Traditional Consumer Lending Regulations 2025. The Commission, in a statement signed by the Director of Corporate Affairs, Odanje Ijagu, said the regulations, which came into force on July 21, 2025 under the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018, are aimed at ensuring fairness, transparency and accountability across Nigeria's fast-growing digital lending space. To further aid operators' compliance efforts, the FCCPC announced the release of an additional instrument, the Guidelines on the Digital, Electronic, Online and Non-Traditional Consumer Lending Regulations 2025. Now, according to the Commission, applicants with pending submissions can now provide any extra information required under the new guidelines without waiting for a formal request, adding that application processing would continue in a transparent and timely manner. The Executive Vice Chairman of the FCCPC, Tunji Bello, emphasized the importance of meeting the compliance.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
Yes. It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's no longer going to be business as usual. Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, getting in the country, 79% is from crude, foreign exchange, 11% is from oil, from gas, natural gas. Between the two of them is 90%.
If we are getting whatever it is we are getting from oil revenue today, you look at the oil revenue, is more than enough to take Nigeria to her next level. But at the end of the day, the processes, the leakages, and so many things that have become like an epidemic on our economy will not allow whatever we are gaining or getting from this deposit or these blessings from God to give us what we are looking for.
The coming of Brazil now this time is important. Then first they have to organize a workshop for these herders, those who rear cows. This is why it's good for you to have your cows in a particular place, and these are things you do to feed them well, and they will equally have good meat for consumption.
The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and in the other way around, the beginning of a thing also can predict what the afternoon or the evening of that same thing will look like. With the trend that has not been curbed and nothing has been discussed about it, for instance, when you see a project like fuel subsidy removal and you don't have a substitution or alternative like stomach infrastructure or welfare package for the same people that you are coming up to lead, and even though I didn't hear her directly, but it was in news that the president's wife made a speech that Nigeria should not be afraid that they are not coming to loot Nigeria because they are already having money. They are billionaires or trillionaires. So people were depending on that speech. Okay, if you come up.
Thank you for being part of what has been happening on this program this day, and it still remains women empowerment that we're discussing today, and there are some practical things that we've talked about, and someone that's been doing that has been my guest all the while, and that has been Frida Edabo. Frida has something else that will be happening soon, and we want to talk about that. Frida, looking at the fact that you are doing a whole lot, we've also seen another of the things you do. and that happens to be, Thrive for Higher Foundation, that's your foundation, what you do. And let me even say this, what you have as, do I call it your motto? Her voice,
of power.
That's great. Now, we want to see that in this, your foundation, there is something you're about to do. And that is talking about reusable parts, outreach. Now, just because you're saying it, has never imagined that parts could be reused.
Oh, no. You know, when we were small, there was this Pampers napkin you tie, you wash, you know. It was, and then seeing it being incorporated as pads, you're like, oh, wow, this is and big ups to Pad Up Company, like big ups to them. That is very innovative of them, and it saves a whole lot of cost, a whole lot.
Yes.
No, I never really imagined.
I wonder. It's so good. So that at least when one lays hands on maybe 2, 3, or 4, that's all, can keep reusing, and reusing. You want to talk about it, you want to, thank you, Bright, you want to talk about it and you want to discuss it with some people, and while you're doing this is at IDP camp Durumi, Abuja, as we can see, and it's going to happen even as you already have the date there. Now we're asking, so it is possible to have this, as you said, yes, it is possible. Can it be sustained? That's another question. And you are there also, can you imagine what you're doing now? You're going to an IDP camp. Oh, what is the thing you to this? Let's talk about it.
You know, when you say the less privileged, you must really, really go for the less privileged. It's not just in words, it's in action. And normal sanitary pad. I said then pad was, this was 3 years back. I said then pad was 250 naira, 300 for one. And when you give them this pad, they use it for a month and they can't afford it anymore. And we notice that it's the one we give to them. When they are done, they go back to their piece of wrapper and cup that they use, and those things are not hygienic. So what I did was, okay, when I found out about Pad Up Company, I was like, I asked them, what is this thing about? How is it done? Then I had to use it first to make sure that it was safe to use. And I said, okay, these IDP people, they can't afford it. Even when Pad was 250, 300 naira, they couldn't afford it. Not to talk of now that Pad is over 3,000 naira. So how are they going to buy it?
I wonder.
Even the normal is crying that Pad is, and that is why I say I will need the government at a point, because now this is the time I need them to subsidize pads. Subsidize it. It's a very important tool that we need as women. So you must voice, and then you subsidize the materials or you subsidize the pad. And then sharing it for the girls, I would want them to, because it has a span of 1 year and 6 months, minimum 1 year. So you see, instead of them using one pad for 1 month and they can't afford it anymore, I'm giving them a pad they can use for 1 year minimum. Yes. And it's something that they will use. They can wash with any detergent or soap, and they sun outside and they use again. And a pack has 5. So yes, a pack has 5. So before you exhaust 3, in fact, in a whole year, 3 is okay for you to use. But I give them enough 5 so they can at least be comfortable and before the year runs out. You know.
There is something that I want to read out. I want you to hear it. If we are to reclaim our power as a nation, we must first reclaim the legacy of our women who were once the heartbeat of the nation. This is quoting you.
Yes,
Frida.
that is my quote. I quoted it in my book as well.
Yes, yes, we'll talk about this. Your book. Yes, you are an author, as I did say at the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about that book.
My book is centered around women, around the women, I call them our heroes past, the like of Funmilayo Ransom Kuti is in there, the likes of Gambo Sawaba, the likes of Amina of Zazaur, Yaragoji of Zamfarawa, Moremi of Ife, Idia of Benin. I wrote them all in that book. Even the life of women. Yeah, the Aba Women Riot. Oh yes, I did write that, and I wrote about the Chibok girls, Aisha Yusufu, who is coming to my program on Monday by God's grace, and then Obi Ezekwesili, who is the founder, and Aisha being the co-founder of Chibok. The book, I wrote a lot in the book, and I wrote the challenges women are facing, whether in politics, in society, in all spheres, the challenges women are facing, and all that. And my quotes came from the fact that we all can see, even a blind man can see that women are being marginalized, and no nation would rise, if 50% of its population is marginalized. And Nigeria, we need to wake up to the fact that we need to start empowering our women, not empowering them as if we are trying to say, okay, take and go. No, you don't give to them. Let them take from where you too are taking from. Because just as you have rights to power as a citizen, just as you have rights to finances, you have rights to education, they also have these rights. So let them also be able to take themselves and become, and do not shrink them to suit your own narratives. That was the whole essence of my book, and of course.
And it's a good thing that your book, as it's going on, at a time like this, they are talking about it on the political scene. They're talking about it on the political scene, talking about having reserved seat for women for at least the next 15 years. After that, then they would have been able to enter well, and they will be free to do it. And so those some men have been jittery about that. And I keep saying, what's the need being jittery? Are they not better than most of the men that are around them? So let's have it. Let's have it. That's good. Well, thank you so much for bringing in this side of this story, and it's a good thing. Welcome. We'll be talking about these reusable parts outreach. You know, you normally, like, you do it on a yearly basis, and this year, 2025, to be happening, even as we've talked about at the IDP camp. You see again the greatness about what you have done. You have theme words. You have dignity, sustainability, and menstrual power. So it's not just, you're not just saying menstrual flow. No. You're talking about menstrual power. Menstrual power. No, menstrual. So we mean there is power. When you get to be the one that has the menstrual flow.
Of course, of course. Like my belief, I always say, women are the portal through which life comes into the world. So for that reason alone, you must give them respect. And looking at some cultures and traditions, and looking down and say, oh, menstruation is a taboo. Taboo for what? To be, taboo for what?
Someone says it's indoors until it's over. Or in some cases says at the back of the camp.
Or you can climb the pulpit because you are on your period. And without that monthly flow, I cannot reproduce.
There cannot be any
there can be procreation, and I am the portal through which life comes from. And instead of you to celebrate me, you are seeing me as a taboo. So that's where the menstrual power comes in. There's power in menstruation. Let's hold on to it.
There's power. Thank you so very much. Oh, well, it's been wonderful sharing these moments with you, Frida, honestly. Now I want to, before we start, as we're trying to round off now, looking at the future, thrive for her foundation. Where do you see it in maybe say the next 5 years, next 10 years, even next 50 years? Where do you see Thrive for Her Foundation and this great work that Thrive for Her does for the economy of the women folk and the children? Where do you see it?
I see the foundation becoming a safe space for women, because in as much as I am the founder, I am not the owner. It is owned by every woman and every girl out there who are being oppressed, who are being marginalized, and who are being told to keep quiet, and who goes through series of challenges that they don't know how to deal with or come out from. So it is their foundation. I am just a servant. I'm just here to represent them, and I'll keep representing them both on local and international stage and international level, of course. And I see the foundation as a safe space for them, as a place where they can grow, because I'm incorporating new things by 2026, where every IDP camp will have women that will know how to sew reusable pads. Now, it's not just me going to distribute for them. I want to empower them to be able to make these pads themselves, produce themselves. So all I would do is to supply them the materials. And that's when I will liaise with the government and say, okay, can you subsidize this material so that I can buy it? Or can you collaborate with me so we can distribute these materials to them? And I can also go to all these less privileged these children and say, okay, what can you do? What are you passionate about? Do you want to do this and do that? Then I set up agencies for them to say, okay, run this thing, departmental stores, buy sewing machine. Do you want to go to school? Encourage them to go to public schools or any private schools of their choice. So Try for Her Foundation in the next 50 years will be a safe space for women, not just in Nigeria, but Africa at large.
Thank you so much. And I would say that it's my prayer and belief that that Thrive for Her Foundation will outlive Frida Irabo herself.
Of course, of course.
Because I know that there are foundations that have been there for hundreds of years and all that. So do we hope this will go, because you're doing a whole lot to help the women folk and the children, because of course when you help the women, you're helping the children.
Of course.
Yes. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful sharing the moments with you.
Thank you very much.
I want you to look straight, in 1 minute, look straight into this camera that is where you're facing, and encourage a woman.
My name is Frida Irabo. I am privileged to be representing you all. It's a privilege for me, and I want to encourage you never to shrink to fit anybody's narrative, and never to keep quiet when you have a lot to say, and to keep striving and believing, and above every other thing, love your neighbor as yourself and put God first in all you do. And the future is ours. The future is female. Write it down. The future is female. We'll take over. Look around the world. We are having female presidents. Look at Mexico. Look at Nepal. And it will continue, and it will happen in Nigeria, and we will make it possible. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks a lot. That's been the way we've had it today with Frida Irabo, transformational African leader driving gender equality, women's political participation, and sustainable development, who has served, or still is serving as the Delta State Coordinator of a New Thing International Foundation, a past charter Vice President of Rotary District 9141, and President of the Thrive for Her Foundation, and the Certified Scrum Master, Agile Coach, and CEO of BL Frida Logistics. Great. It's been wonderful sharing the moments with you.
Thank you for
to come again to share with us on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And dear viewer, this is also where I need to say thanks to you for being there, because if you weren't there, I wouldn't have been here in the first place. So thank you for watching and being part of it. And if still say this thing has been streamed live, so you can always go to YouTube to see what we've done and other editions of our program. Please do keep being part of it all, and we won't forget to say that with you we can go play. Thank you. Oh, thanks to Bright Chukwebue, Bright the great man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to a lot of fellows with whom I've worked today. Chidema, I won't forget that. I also remember Ephraim Muna, and Eke Chukunalo. I thank all of you for being part of what has happened today. I want to thank Victor Adeyeye. I want to thank Victor, the editor. Thank you. I also want to thank Victor, the one that is streaming for us, Victor Chizea, and Felix Akinjabula. Thanks to all of you. You've just been there. And do I forget? No. Eukaria Onyeneke, thank you for being around all through. We'll miss you because you're leaving us soon back to school. Thank you for being very useful and meaningful here. I want to thank every other one that has assisted one way or the other. And I am Okechukwu Onobroku, not forgetting my boss, Ruben Okala. Thank you so much for getting us do this today. And Wahid, of course, is the CEO, the executive producer of the program, and we want to say, Odushile, thank you. I say, may the best happen to us all. all the time.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power